ISO run that looked insane. I was worried that City Connection was a tough marathon game to play. Then I watched that. So, all right. So, go ahead and get things started here. City Connection is a game with more lore than you would expect. The main story behind City Connection is about a driver that has stolen a lot of paint, and he has to go and travel all over the world. The problem is the police have had enough of his shenanigans, and so they are trying to chase him down. But don't you worry, he has plenty of oil that he finds along the way that he can spit and make those. Well, I guess I didn't turn off. I turned off my follow alert earlier today, but there it was. Okay. So there are a lot of obstacles you can come across in this game. One being that everyone's favorite RNG cat. RNG cat, which hopefully I will not run into, so you will not get to hear his faithful tune. There he is. Well, if you hit him, he will fly up to the top of the screen and play a little jig for you. A little ditty. So it starts off fairly simple. See that they're just kind of getting you used to the game there. The objective being to cover the entire city in paint. And once you finish covering one city in paint, you're going to go to another country and you're going to cover that city in paint until the whole world is covered in paint. Up! And sometimes you see random cat just cannot be avoided. Like that was mid-jump, could not turn, couldn't do anything. Fun fact, since you did get to hear the little tune there, that is actually the flea waltz that plays when you hit random cat, which, whew, almost got a little too much random cat in my run there. But the flea waltz, oh, I'm out of oil, that is bad news. The flea waltz actually translates to, I'm going to butcher this, Nico Daljetta or something like that, which actually in Japanese means I stepped on a cat. So hopefully I'm done stepping on cats for this run. But there he is, and he will be popping up more and more as. And so one thing that I'll be doing here is you can jump. You can either do a static jump, you can jump high by pressing up while you jump, or you can do that 180 jump that I was just doing there. The 180 jump comes in handy in stages like this. Oh God. Your reaction time really has to be on point for this one. Oh, shoot. Now, you saw me just get a balloon there. That's actually not good. You don't want to get 3 of those, because this is actually the only game that I've ever played where if you warp, it actually is not good. Alright, so that's London. Finished covering London in paint. And so now we're going to head from London to Paris. Paris, you're going to notice me going to the right for most of this stage, especially when I'm jumping. There is a strange glitch in Paris called a jump lock that really works to your disadvantage. And will take you to the bottom of the stage, and you can't maneuver your car. So you don't want to jump to the left if you can help it. Sometimes you really have no option, but if you can help it, try not to jump left in this stage. One of the biggest time losses you can have in this game is when you have these just one tile left on these platforms. You can hit those as you jump. There's a 1 frame window for that, so it's pretty tough to do. You'll see that the difficulty of the actual platforms themselves and the way they're staggered kind of increases as you move along in the game. Alright. Ideally, what you want to do is you kind of want to work from top to bottom in these stages. If you can work from top to bottom, you won't lose as much time by having to backtrack, because backtracking is where you really lose time in this game. Ah, shoot. Okay. One of the things I tried to do to make this a little more marathon safe, which there aren't many things you can do for that in this game, but one of the things that I made an effort to do is if you're trying to play it safe, don't do as many blind jumps, because if you're doing those 180 jumps, if you're trying to jump and hit the first tile on a platform, random cat can sneak up on you like he did me earlier in the run. Not much you can do about that if he does catch you, but you do your best to avoid him. So we're moving right along here into Germany. Germany, they add a whole new obstacle and just make the stage really hard to see, which you don't really need, but they decided that was in their best interest to make it so really hard to see this stage. Very similar as far as the way the stage is set up to Paris. There's random cats! Oh, okay. Yeah. I tried to avoid it. You see my car turn midair, but random cat got me again. A little jerk. There he is. Hopefully he's not on the other side of this too. He's not. Okay, that's alright. Funny, with my estimate, since I'm so unsure and there's no way to predict where random cat is. Jeez. That I actually worked a game over into my estimate. So hopefully we'll come in under estimate today, and I will not have to restart the run or anything of that nature. But you can see that things can get a little on the stressful side at times. Oof, that was close. Okay. Oh, all right. So let's stop, take a little selfie here as we get ready to travel a little further across the world to New Delhi. One thing you noticed on that screen is I still have 2 balloons. If I get that 3rd balloon, I'm going to warp. And I didn't really finish explaining that earlier, but if I warp, I'm going to move to Tokyo, which is the last stage. Ah, shoot. Oh no. I'll move to Tokyo, but I'll have to come back and do this stage after. Like, I don't get to skip this stage if I do that. This is actually also the first stage where I'm going to actually... where cop cars actually start coming at you diagonally as well, and sometimes you can't even see them. Oh no. And my last obstacle that you might have just seen there is a spike. Oof. Spike comes into play when you've been in a level a little bit too long. For the game's liking. Oh boy, it's not gonna let me avoid this balloon. Alright, let's go down here. Okay. Shoot. Oh no, there's random cat again. Oh my gosh. Oh shoot. Oh no. Oh, I'm really sorry, guys. That's game over. So back in New York again, but yes, no continues, no nothing. Oh, that's very embarrassing. I'm really sorry. I'm gonna try to work this as quickly as I can to get back. Thankfully, my super dodgeball race will be under estimate. So that should make up for some of the time we're gonna lose here. So you got to see a little bit of what the grind looks like for the City Connection there, because as much as you practice it, it can still come back and bite you when it just can take no more of your shenanigans. You know, everybody's gotta pay the piper eventually, and cops found a way to bring me down from my painting. So I said estimate of 15 minutes for this very reason. So yeah, so you got a little taste right there of sometimes the cars can be invisible. Now there's that lock jump glitch. None of the glitches in this game work in your favor. Be nice if one of them did, or maybe you had a zip or something, but not really the case this time around. So I'm going to farm some cop cars, try to get a couple extra lives here just in case. Oh my goodness. So you got to see there too, when you do mess up and end up going down below before you finish the top, can make the stage a bit longer. So we got 3 lives heading into Paris this time, so that should put us in pretty decent shape moving forward. So let's keep our fingers crossed here that, because death's gonna happen in bunches, and sometimes you get stuck between a spike and a hard place, you know. Gosh. some other runners that have taken the City Connection, Lack Attack and Ness Cardinale have actually been, they did some races of this game over at AGDQ that were a pretty big hit. But overall, I mean, this game is definitely, it's a fun game, believe it or not, that I would recommend. But really, what you have here is a big advertisement for the Honda City that came out in around this time. And so it's not your traditional racing game. It's really just kind of showing the maneuverability of that vehicle, you know. Alright, so that's gonna do it for this stage. Heading back into Germany. So, back to Germany, where again, we're a little more staggered, but it's actually a little easier than London in this stage to get back up to the top. They give you a little more space between the two, the middle platforms on the bottom there and the longer platforms on the top. So it's a little easier to get back up once you fall down. So in a way, it's a little more forgiving, which is nice. One of the things you'll notice is if it looks like, oh, like he's just kind of turning around over and over again, you actually aren't, your car won't jump unless you do that little wheelie first. And so you have to wait that out before you can actually finish your jump. Alright, so this is going better this time. Now it may look like when I was on the bottom there, it looked like I was going faster when I held the directional button to the left or right. It's actually not the case. I think it's actually just manipulating the police cars around you, so you can kind of change their speed in order to kind of help yourself moving down the line. See, this is, I haven't died once yet. I know I don't want to jinx anything, but that's the kind of the difference between runs in this game. Like there were a lot of unavoidable deaths. There was maybe an unavoidable death in their last run that I had, but so had to do that 180 jump there. Oof, almost hit that cop car. No sir, random cat. Alright, so now let's go ahead and finish out. Good. You see, my driver actually looks disappointed that he has to leave India. So now here's our last stage. Here we are in Japan. We get to see that glitched lock jump again. Got a lot more diagonal moving cop cars in this one. And at points, it almost feels like it's raining cop cars. Another fun fact about City Connection, since we have a couple moments here, is each of these songs is actually a variant of Tchaikovsky, and so they use some like different ethnic variations of the Tchaikovsky concerto throughout the run, which is an interesting thing. You don't really see much classical music represented in games like. Now that's just mean. I got hit with the invisible cop car right on the home stretch. Really not needed. Alright, well that is City Connection. And again, I do apologize for the game over.